and love our science. It's made from digesting food and farming waste. You'll have seen anaerobic digesters all over Somerset, but actually lots of them have used the gas to make electricity. Planning permission was given back in 2013 to build a new plant near Evercreech, but a new company's just bought it and reckons it could provide gas for nearly 3,000 homes, simply from food and farming waste. Well, we did invite the new company on, that's Macquarie Capital, but they weren't available. Here's just what some of you, though, think in Evercreech about the plans.
The concern would be the smell, because the prevailing wind around here is a southwesterly wind, and any odour emitting from Evercreech Junction or the southward area would be brought across the village on a southwesterly wind. So that is a concern. Other than that, no, I mean, it's all green technology. It's the way forward rather than sort of landfill. If we can actually use waste and biodegrade it and have a useful end product, yes.
We have to move forward. If we don't, there'll be nothing left for our grandchildren, because the world as we know it is gradually disappearing. And we have to preserve what we have and reuse and reuse and reuse until there's no life left in it. And this is one of those projects that will help with that. So I'm all for it, as long as they're cautious about the traffic, because it's a very dangerous corner, it's a blind bend, and I think it will increase the movement of trucks. But time will tell. Harmless,
as long as it doesn't smell, I guess, as well. That's the other thing, because they like to have a moan in the village, that's for sure. Traffic as well, if it's outside the village on the outskirts and it doesn't bring too much traffic in the middle, I'm sure it's probably harmless. I'm not here most of the year. I travel with a circus.
I really want to get that bloke back. He travels with the circus, loves a good moan in the village like everybody else. Interesting chap. Anyway, Barry O'Leary is the local Liberal Democrat district councillor for Evercreech. Morning, Barry.
Good morning, Cllr. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Do you think they're fair points, concerned about smell, traffic, but actually, you know, this could be really good in terms of how green we all need to be?
I think your earlier report where you said this is all about science, and I think this report where you said it's also about communities, that's what we've got to get right. This is forward-looking stuff, and we've got to make sure that while we have great carbon offsetting, we don't actually destroy our local communities, and we bring in good quality high-tech jobs, and we reuse, recycle, and avoid landfill. And this project will do much of that.
Where will it be built exactly?
So you have mentioned the village of Evercreech, obviously. This is at Southwood, which is just about a mile outside of Evercreech as you're going towards Cllr. It's right beside where Somerset Waste Partnership have their waste collection plant for the Recycle More scheme. So there will be a cluster of these kind of sustainable technologies in one area, which is great. And hopefully both of these things can work in partnership, as well as obviously address the local concerns around the HGVs and around the smells. These are the two things we've got to get right. And the new provider's got to work with the community to make sure these things are got right on day one and stay right going forward.
I mean, do we know, will it produce a smell? I mean, I know you're not the scientist working on this, but what do we know about those issues?
Well, I know there's a much smaller plant nearby in Wyke, and I'm downwind from this product and plant myself. I don't feel a smell from it or sense a smell from it, and there are very strict standards now in place that Somerset County Council asked for beforehand. But these will be things that will be monitored, and these will be things that we as the public have really got to be on top of and make sure that all the right precautions are taken. And that's why I'm asking the company who's going to be building this plant to really engage with us as a community and illustrate to us they've taken every scientific and practical step. Because that's the key thing about this, is getting the green technology right and having that balance of technology, community and sustainability.
And as I mentioned before, I mean, I know nobody from the company was able to come on the show today, but hey, by all means, do come on the show. It's a great way of engaging with the community. What then needs to happen now? Because, I mean, this has been in the pipeline, pardon the pun, for years. The company says it could be producing gas from the site by early next year. So in order to make sure they do it right, what needs to happen from now on?
Well, what needs to happen from now on is a community engagement. And what needs to happen is that, you know, we've got great air quality, we've got great dark skies at night. We need to make sure that it's clear these things will be kept. So I've been writing to the community and writing to the company involved to make sure both sets of people and both sets of the agents of this are talking to each other, and that we get this right on day one. That's what needs to happen. People need to talk, and people need to understand the phases of construction, and equally the company that's delivering need to really understand the environment they're going to be situated in, and that includes the community.
Barry, thanks for your time. Barry O'Leary, the Liberal Democrat District Councillor for Evercreech. Any thoughts from you? Let me know. It's going to be the smell, isn't it? Smell and traffic. That's probably the two main things that if you live in and around Evercreech, you're thinking, how bad's this going to be? Before 8:30, I'm going to be joined by an expert in biogas to just explain exactly how this works, Dr. Emma Hill. Perhaps